Hi everyone, it's Cassandra Williamson again. It is the afternoon, 1:11, as you can probably tell from your own timepiece, whatever you're looking at. But I am at the Herschel Woody Williams VA Medical Center in Huntington, West Virginia, which is right off of Spring Valley Road. And yeah, I was in there back in radiology maybe 5 minutes between check-in and going to get an x-ray on my left shoulder and walking back out and getting in the car, maybe 10 altogether. But now I got a 2-hour drive to get back to Hardy, Kentucky. So question is, which route do we want to go? I can go back over 23, back to 23, and then go out 23. It's a pretty good road. I need to go into Pikeville anyway. I got to check on some things for my mom, and who's doing fine, by the way. As many of you know, as you know, I've been a caregiver for them, for my mom, brother, sister, and check in on my cousin. She's doing really well. My cousin's doing really well too. Just she's staying in the house a lot, and so is everybody else. But the worst of the four, the one that's having the most difficulty is my brother Gideon, who got to go in for some scans here pretty soon. Got another dark spot, a big spot on his left lung, and already dealing with one on his right lung, and possibility of some blockages, heart blockages as well. So those things are all there, and he really gets winded a lot. So I'm really concerned about him. Um, Mom is fine. Mom's mom. She's been sleeping a lot in her chair or in the bed, and she's doing all right. And she can't see really well, so I mean, she's got stuff she would love to be able to read. And our cousin Alice, my cousin Alice Blevins Meadows, she was in uh, Friday evening. She wanted me to go with her down to Ashe County, North Carolina, down to West Jefferson and Lansing in the Ashe County area, Ashe County, North Carolina. And that's where our Blevins side of the family's from. My grandmother's from there. So, yeah, the Blevins is. So, but I couldn't. My responsibilities were to mom and family here. And so I take that seriously. That's very important, obviously. So right now, though, I'm just sitting here in the parking lot at the VA hospital in Huntington, and I want to go about 23, go south on 23 after I get across 64. And let's take a trip. You ready? I'm gonna flip the camera around. Let me make sure I got which camera I got. Microphone is the mini microphone. It's you. Gotcha. And let me see, which camera do we want? Let's go with the back triple. And that thing was loud. Back ultra wide. I don't know. What's the triple camera is probably better. Let's see what the other ones do before I get out of here. Back dual wide camera. No. Let's go. Just see these all these options on cameras here. Ultra wide camera. Okay. That's not really changing much, is it? Trying to get it to focus in a little bit better. There we go, I think. Well, who knows? Anyway, so let me just see which cameras work. There's a back camera, dual camera, back telephoto camera. There's a telephoto camera on this thing. What does that do? Whoa! That pulled the leaves in pretty good, didn't it? Let's just go with the triple camera. Okay, there we go. Whew, that thing actually worked pretty good. I'm surprised. All right, so let me get out of here. And again, this is Cassandra Williamson. I want to thank everyone who drops in and says hi and all that. I can't really communicate too much with you while I'm driving, but I can talk, and there's a lot to talk about. It's been a week of craziness here. in this country, in our country, and every week has been crazy. Actually, since January the 20th, well, actually November the 4th, it's been pretty darn crazy the whole time since then. I've been trying to tell people what was coming, but most people just completely blow it off as if I'm just being overly hyperbolic, or um, they're saying, "What?" I hear a lot of this too. People saying, "What y'all done too much too fast," and all of that kind of thing. Well, no, no, we just think that we should be treated the same way as everybody else, right? So I'm driving down the hill, which is Honor Hill Road, going down to Spring Valley Road, and we'll make a few turns on that one. I could go right-handed to get on 64, to kind of show you that route. Go right-handed on Spring Valley Road, and it'll go to 64 out that way too, but it doesn't really matter either direction. Well, actually, I think that might be a quicker route. I'm not sure. Google always takes me the other way. That's because I'm going down 52. That's why. Okay, so here we go down to Spring Valley Road to care for him who shall have borne the battle. I think they tried to change that. I don't know why they haven't changed it on there. It's for them, for those who have borne the battle or something like that. Because even during the Civil War, when Lincoln wrote that, and well, actually wrote that thing and set it up, set the system up, basically. Um, there were women in the service then, and there were transgender people in the service then. They weren't called that. They didn't identify as that. That's a modern term. But there were transgender people who had served in the Civil War. The most prominent one that I know of that I can talk about, because I know a little bit about that, is this person by the name of Albert Cashier. Albert immigrated to the United States about a year or so before the war started, maybe a little before that, and then decided that definitely wanted to defend the Union against, wanted to stop slavery. And if you don't think the Civil War was over slavery, well, I got a special kind of place for that. Because it was over slavery, no matter what you think. It wasn't states' rights. It was nothing like that. It was over the institution of slavery. But anyway, I digress. My storyboard goes all over the place. But anyway, so Albert Cashier came to the U.S. and then started dressing as male about a year or so before the war started, the Civil War started. Lived his life that way completely. Everyone knew him as Albert. Joined the Union Army. Was in several major campaigns and battles. Was captured by the Confederates. Escaped from the Confederates. Went back and joined up with his buddies to continue fighting against the Confederates. And then when the war was over, he continued to live as himself, drawing a pension. He drew a pension from the U.S. government as Albert Cashier, and as he had served, he had done well at it. So, yeah, I mean, why wouldn't he, right? Let me see if there's an access to 64 here, or do I have to go all over the place to get there? Well, I don't see the access here, but maybe that's it. I'll go up James River Road. That's a hard one to see. Let's see. I'm going to go down to James River Road. I've never been on this road, but you can't get lost around here. Really. You might be in a place you've never been before, but getting lost is just not it. That's just not happening. So anyway, Albert Cashier received his pension, was living in the Midwest. I forget what state he was living in, but all the way up until about 1910 or so-ish. He was involved in an accident between himself and an automobile, and put him in the hospital. And then the doctors discovered that Albert wasn't born as a male. So they sent him to an asylum, locked him up, forced him to wear dresses. Of course, you know what happens when you do that? You start creating mental health issues that weren't there before. Not because the person had any mental health issues going in, but because of what you did to them. That's where it came from. So, but anyway, Albert, and they yanked his pension. But here's the thing: his buddies who he served with in the Union Army came to his defense, defended him, went to see him, make sure he was all right, checked on him, convinced the government to give his pension back, and they did. But they never let Albert out of the asylum. So that's exactly what this administration, by the way, wants to do. That's why you see them talking about restoring the sanitarium kind of thing, the ideas, and also with them trying to say that homeless people need to be locked away in some kind of mental health institution or a sanitarium somewhere, all that kind of thing. Now, granted, some of them could probably use that help, but most people out there who are homeless, most, not all, don't want your help, and they're happy with where they are. And believe it or not, I know that. We know that. We should know that, right? But anyway, so that's what this administration is trying to do. They're trying to reinstitute institutions, mental health institutions, the sanitariums. And they're going to round up people they don't like, who don't fit their mold. They'll start with the homeless people, and they'll go right on up the line. And I would not be surprised at all if they also go after transgender people and LGBT people. Why? Because they've done it before. In the 50s, in the 1950s, they've done it. They did it. They went after a really prominent mathematician, Alan Turing, who actually decoded the Enigma code of the Germans. But he was gay. So in the 50s, they put him in a sanitarium and used electroshock therapy on him, thinking that would make him not gay. Well, can you imagine what that man went through? Can you imagine that? Just because he was gay? He was a brilliant mathematician. He figured all this stuff out, but they locked him away because he was gay in the 50s. So where does that take us? It takes us to today and what the Trump administration is trying to do. Recreate those sanitariums. Gays, lesbians, if they don't like you, they're going to lock you away. All the gay men who are currently serving in different leadership roles in the Trump administration, you aren't there are people who believe that you're gay. So they're going to lock you up. They would love to get back to using electroshock therapy to take care of you, to fix you, to pray the gay away, to pray the trans away, all that kind of stuff. They're going to try it because they think they can. They think that conversion therapy works. Conversion therapy never works. I know what's coming. I mean, you can see it. It's plainly written everywhere. I mean, all you have to do is read Project 2025, the mandate for leadership that Trump says he doesn't know anything about, but that's a lie. We know that's a lie because he's following it to a T. His people are following it to the letter. We know it. That's part of it too. That's all in there. Everything's in that book, folks. And I don't know now. I think maybe I've never been out on this road, but I'm hoping eventually to run out on a bigger road. This is a part of Wayne County that I've never been in. Signal's still pretty good though. So let me see. All right. Maybe that's Goodwill Riverside Drive, which are we talking about? Riverside, is that Big Sandy River? I don't know. Anyway, we're going out through here to find out. Oh, there's a river over there. Right there. That's not the Big Sandy. I don't think. River is that? I don't know. Is that 12 Pole Creek maybe? It's not the Big Sandy because it's too close to the other side. Nope, we're still in West Virginia over there. Anyway, it's fascinating up in here. You know, just it's gorgeous. But I think maybe I'm going up beside 12 Pole Creek, which goes all the way up into part of Wayne County where my family's buried, my great grandparents and all of them, and on back forever and ever. Hopefully, I think this comes out somewhere. I do need to get back home in time for supper. Help, Chambers! Oh, goodness. Let's see. There's got to be a way over to the other side. Well, who wants to? I may have to look at a map. Oh, there's a big stuff up here in front of us somewhere. Oh yeah, this is part of Wayne County I've never been in. Oh. Hey Siri, can you hear me, Siri? Siri's not talking to me. I'm talking to you all. Oh, look at that little doggy on the road. Oh my gosh, cute little doggy, solid black. Well, okay. Well, as I said, you can't really get lost around here. You can be lost in the exact moment where you are right now, but you're going to come out somewhere, and it'll be just fine. Oh, that's a big bridge. Where'd that bridge go? I don't know. Okay. Ah, la, la, da, da, da. Ah, la, 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 la. Let's see if I get some family names on some of these mailboxes up through here. That's always fun to do too. I do that a lot. See who lives around here. This is some backwoods part of Wayne County. And this would be south of Huntington, probably. I'm believing. Browning Cemetery. There's some Brownings in my family, that's for sure. Well, we got a road now with a stripe on it, so that's a start. Oh, look, there's is that a power plant over there? Well, I may be going down the West Virginia side. I'll just have to cut over at Fort Gay. But more than likely, that's what we're doing here, folks. Whoa. No, wait, I know where we are. Oh, no, I know exactly where we are. I got to turn around now and go back the other way. Oh, this is cool. If I can get across here without getting hit. Okay, there's that. All right. So I think that was the road I was on earlier. That goes, I just went around in a big circle. There's a deer up there. Look at that deer. You can't see it probably. A deer in the road. Oh, get out of the road, deer. The road's slick for those deer because their hoofs are so sharp. They'll hurt you. So yeah, I know where I am now, so I have to turn left right here. Ha, see? Well, I know that you can go that way now and go all the way around to the VA. You can go that way. James River Road. I don't think it was James River. Could have been, but I don't know if it's James River around here. But the road's named James River, so there's something to that, right? I'm back in familiar territory now. That's fun. What I find comical, or actually it's really funny to me, um, these people over on different social media platforms, but they always think they're trying to force me to say something or do something or say something that I don't know. Or the one person said, "You're not very self-aware." Yesterday, they told me that on Twitter. I said, "Really? What do you mean?" And he went on a little bit. And it turns out what he was talking about was he kept calling me a man or a guy. So I just told him, point out, I said, look, I have a son. That means he got the Y chromosome from me. And that doesn't bother me in the least. I'm so happy to have a son and 3 daughters. And he said, well, you are self-aware, aren't you? For a guy, he said. And I'm thinking, well, I'm a lot more self-aware of who I am than you are of who you are, because you don't know who you are, apparently. Oh my God. I get a kick out of these people. But he thinks he's getting something over on me when they say stuff like that, or they do. And it turns out that, no, I've got the upper hand, because I'm not afraid of who I am. Are you afraid of who you are? I think that car's going that way, but I just want to make sure. Okay. So I'm going to get up on 64 and go back towards Kentucky off of 64. And here we go again. La 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 la. I hum a lot. Hum, make sounds, all kinds of stuff like that. It's just when I have nothing further to say, those noises come out of nowhere. So we're going to ride. This is Tri-State Airport Road, I believe it's called, but it goes out to 64, or 52 to 64. Yeah, I'm going to go to across 64 to 23. Broad Hollow Road. I wonder if that Broad Hollow Road is actually a play on words, because uh, I lived on a road down in Texas that was called Dry Creek Road, and the creek wasn't dry. But they called it Dry Creek Road. Maybe it was dry a long time ago. I don't know. So maybe Broad Hollow is actually pretty narrow. Who knows? One cannot tell with these names. Misleading names. Oh my gosh, misleading names. So I need to go west. Where's west? Over there's west. On 64. Going toward Ashland, Kentucky. Uh-oh. And here we are, behind Fleet Services by Cox Automotive, truck and trailer fleet service and parts. Just did a little promo for Fleet Services. Hey, you want to send me a couple $100? Fleet Services, come on, you can do it. Gas around here, my gas for my car is $3.19. Well, it's $3.19 when I got it over in Louisa earlier, and that's gone up. It's gone up. Back in Pike County, over there near Hardy, I ended up paying $3.99. I used the premium gas in this car, so that's where we are. Okay, let's get out on the 4-lane here. On 64, we're going 64 west. And I want to say that this guy is going there too. Okay. Watching exit 191, Ashland Inn. Okay. Mentioned by somebody. Oh my God. This is on the X that pops up. I just have fun, you know. Try to enjoy myself, do the best I can, make sure that I'm smiling and find some beautiful things every now and then to get involved with and be thankful for. Thankful for the opportunity to take care of my family, thankful for my children, all 4 of them, amazing talent. So, and my 8 grandkids, I mean, they're just so driven, so determined, so intelligent. I just love it. I love it. These people, this family, my grandkids, kids, mom, brothers and sisters, nieces and nephews. I mean, this is what gives value to my life, you know, gives value to me and meaning to what I'm doing and purpose, because all the stuff that's coming out of this administration and out of Pete Hegseth and Doug Wilson and the Heritage Foundation and Opus Dei with J.D. Vance, all this stuff coming from them is anti-women. It wants to drive my daughters and granddaughters back into being subservient to the man in the house. And obviously I choose those words carefully because they have no place in their description of the world for lesbian couples or gay couples who have children. They don't. I mean, they don't consider them families. They don't consider them even worthy of having kids. So I fight for my daughters and granddaughters. I fight for you. I fight for the women in our lives who actually, you know, have fought and struggled to get where they are today, to have access to banking that they could not do at one point in time, to have access to the credit cards or credit and, you know, signing their own contracts. Because there was a time when women, if they wanted to do something, the man had to be the one to sign a contract because they didn't think that women had any kind of agency for themselves. So, yeah, that's where we're headed back with these people. And if you don't think so, I mean, just look around. Open your eyes. It's there. It's part of who Trump is to a certain extent because he's surrounded himself with these people like Paula White. Oh, goodness. You know, whenever he picked Paula White, that the evangelical community all went up in arms over that because no woman should ever be head of any kind of thing. Yeah, they didn't say it. Well, some of them did. Some of them did say that explicitly, but, you know, And I know that's what Hegseth believes. I mean, he fired Chief of Naval Operations Lisa Franchetti, Admiral Franchetti, replaced Superintendent Davies, Vice Admiral Davies, removed the head of the Coast Guard, who was a woman. They're going to give all kinds of other reasons. They'll never say what it actually is about. You cannot take them at face value. You cannot take these people making their statements at face value, because what they're doing is looking for a reason to legally do something and protect themselves from any kind of lawsuit because of the stupidity that they have. But their goal is to remove from places of leadership. Now, I know to the Pentagon in a very respected position. And so, but the position basically is, an advisor to. So, effectively, no operational command, particularly if it involves any kind of combat or leadership of men in the combat, because women aren't going back into combat with these people. Hegseth's been doing everything he